Kuble pi baro pi pe yakri khasi channel menta yuan rasha pi ka thup khubor jagani ka tio menta ki phangi bakong san Rai ka sarkar ban pindu pandam no ya artali ki hydro power projects Yale ka sarkar asam ban Meghalaya ban wanra ya ka sup ka san ha khapot kat badang yad ka jinge pen betpot On Kanker dep ke HADC ya ki kherdop lum khajna ladalap ba ki le thurmur ong CEM Hadin ke Dorbar Sanrai on le jurip ki regional committee ban pinbetput Daka 4x4 sports event on Penlong hapok ka Kharsati Park Daka memorial lecture Penlong ka St Anthony's College halor u Dr. JS Champion Bat kiwi de ki Khubor Ngine pai matash ki Khubor bnia Kasarkar Meghalaya Democratic Alliance MDA2 menhakasi ba arjong katayo kalarai ban penduk pendam no ki artali ki power projects ha ka jilla kita ka Kinchi stage 1 but ka upper Cree stage 1 and 2 hadin bakala bat sham ba ki me hap show bat ka ji pulut pisa
was to terminate two hydropower projects that was signed by the government of Meghalaya many years back. One is the Kinchi 1 hydroelectric project, and number 2 is the Upper Cree stage 1 and stage 2 projects. As you recall, that these two projects were in collaboration and tie-up with some private parties, but because of the financial non-viability of these projects or unviability of these projects and the rates coming up too high, and also the time taken by the different companies to implement this, the decision was taken by the cabinet that both these projects, the Kinchi 1 project and the Upper Cree stage 1 and 2 projects, will be terminated. But the government will and the departments concerned will immediately move for looking for new partners, or maybe the same partners also in a new format. Because, as I said, the main reasons was that the project in its current forms were not looking or not viable in terms of the rates. But the new technologies that have come in, where pump storage and other facilities can be used, and also the combination of the water being released from one project and being used in the downstream for another project, like in the case of Upper Cree stage 1, 2, the projects also need to be changed. And hence the government will immediately, the department will immediately work in that aspect, and we hope that very soon we'll be able to have the expression of interest to move forward with these projects in its new form. Number 3, there were 3 ordinances that the government had passed. Those ordinances need to be regularized in the House, and those ordinances were brought today in terms of an amended bill or a bill, and that will be put up in the assembly. So the first was the repeal of the Rajat Lal University Act 2011. If you recall, we had repealed this through an ordinance. Second was the amendment of Meghalaya Goods and Service Tax 2017. These are amendments that are mandated in terms of the GST Council. The decisions that have been taken by GST Council are then implemented by the state governments, and every state government then has to amend the GST Act of the state as per the amendments made by the GST Council. So these are just regularizing those decisions made by the council by amending them, and this was done by an ordinance, and now will be ratifying, or will be regularizing it by bringing it to the assembly.
Hadin belami ke jingyakan art hapdeng ki karbi bat ki khasi penar ki basong basa ha block 1 ke belajadang shen ke bala donru ke jingya kam ya ka khendo ka shiam mana ka si pale jong ka tayo ha ka jingwan jong ya kendo ka jong ki ya UCM ka KHADC ki nongelam jong ka karbi anglong autonomous council ki lapan pau ba ki thmu ba ki kwa ban penne ya ka shongsuk ka shongsan ha ki te ki than jong ki te ki chaka khapot
Ke kani ka benta ka baar ka don ka jing penbek put ka bayadei bat kani ka than block 2 bat kiwe chaka te ngi suthu ba kishnong khasi ki babun hapo kini ki chaka ki don but tang masin shimti ya kini ka isi batmaru hadin tang Taiew nila lit benjingo ikipai ba jungi shati ka shnong hakini ki jaka block 2 ki don kumba arkulai teliki ki shnong khasi tingin la yo ben kendo ikirang ba shnong la yo ben kendo ikini ki nong yalam shnong kiri ramba ki long kme te nakaliang jungi ngilai kren sani mentat ba ngikwa ka jing trailang bat ka karbi anglong tumas council ba kipai ba jungi kinam dei bensha penwet kinam dei bensha pendek hakalit kawan hakatrei kakta hakarep karyang bat kiwi pentah kakai patek dan nakaliang jong ka karbi anglong tumas council lingba CM la kular ban ai ka jing trailang bat ka khasil tumas council ban yadai ki beri jungi hak tu bijaka bal benam dei penwet but ka block 2 ka hub babun let's say haka ka area ka ba ngia dan jinga penbaik lang bat ni ka KHDC te ka block 1 part kala hub syaka Taiew Hills district te kala hub haka jurisdiction jongka Taiew Hills district council te watla kataru namar bakidai ki parado prasnam ki jongi ngila pensuau hiru ba kitu ki jingja men hakani kibam internet kibam sultanat bat nakaliang jongka kabi anglong tumas council du kila smokia kata kin smokia baru kin yo bani trailang bat ni nam ta kasuk kasan ka baha kamyan jong itu shnong hakiteki jaka kat kum gajing suthu hadin mengilai klan mene nakaliang kabi anglong ki kloi bani trailang ban wengi kini gajing but menenru ngalayo bani klan lang bot MP Mr. Horan Singh Bay hang tepo guest house jongka karbi anglong tumas council te ha menen ka sngi yo ban ai ka joint press briefing ru ba nakaliang UMP ru ba PM education menen kiong ba kamdon ka ba ban ka bangin wengi ke jing ka kamdon ka bamla si ban wengi jing te la dangi ye trailang da ka jing stu chimo te ngi sutunat ngi pediang ni kata ka jing ekran but kermen scam ba kani ka jing ya dei jungi kanang biang kanang bit nang ni shikmat bat kumju ngi suthu ban penbet ya kanu no kakam ngin la be ban penbet da kalenti ke ba da kalenti jong kajing ekran da kata ke process of discussion dialogue bat kiwe kilenti kamdem dan jing artatin ini da seba ngin la ban poi sha thong jong jing job abe de kini ki pata de nakaliang jungiru ngin salik pet biang ye ki pai ba jungi hapo khaput bat kumju ru ngin salik biang banyak keren sangi bahai ni kakam wat syadusha karbi anglong tumas council syadiku
Menteri Rang Ba Jong Kejala Assam bat Menteri Rang Ba Jong Kejala Meghalaya kila penpau ba ki thmu bat ki kwa ba kan jingya penbet puat apa kini ki atli ki jela kan ya bet ya renti bat ki penpau ru ba ki kwa ba kan don ka shong suk shong san ha ki khaput bat ki jaka ki badan hapdeng ki jingya kaja puat apa kini ki atli ki jela.
And as you're aware that this is an ongoing process and every opportunity we get to discuss the matter helps us to get to a better understanding. So with that objective in mind, we took this opportunity to sit together and discuss about certain situations, certain conditions and certain issues that were coming up and how we could possibly move forward. So this is part of the exercise, part of the process. There is no definitive outcome of it, and this exercise time to time will continue. So I thank the Honourable Chief Minister of Assam and the CDM of the Karbi Anglong Autonomous District Council and our Deputy Chief Minister who's heading the regional committee in Taiew Hills region for their time, and we had a very positive discussion on the matter, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to slowly and steadily move towards a resolution and also ensure that there is peace in that area and the different misunderstandings that are coming once in a while. We're hopeful that we'll be able to resolve those issues also. Thank you very much.
As you know, today is a very important day for our state, Assam, because Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council could establish a nice guest house in Shillong. I thank Government of Meghalaya for facilitating establishment of that guest house, and I'd like to personally thanks once again Sri Conrad Sangma, Honorable Chief Minister Meghalaya, and Snabalandhar, Honorable Deputy CM Meghalaya, for gracing the occasion. As I was in Shillong, or I am in Shillong, I thought it proper to pay a visit to Sri Conrad Sangmaji. I met him. We discussed the ongoing works on the regional committees. There are a lot of progress. Recently, we could finally agreed on the survey post of on Hahim. Finally, it has been resolved that both government of Meghalaya and Assam could agreed on the border post. So there are a lot of progress is happening on both sides. We discuss about confidence building measure too. But today, as discussion was very unofficial and informal, we don't want to announce some decisions or something like that. Only thing is to say that this informal meeting will be followed by a formal meeting, and then of course whenever we meet formally we take some decision and we communicate to the press. So today meeting between the Chief Minister of Assam and Meghalaya can be treated as one of the confidence building measure, and I'd like to request our people in the both side of border to maintain peace, harmony, because they must remember that we are working overtime to resolve the dispute. We want to keep the best interest of people living in the both side of the border in our mind. We want to protect interest of the people living in border. So be calm, remain in peaceful, remain in peace, help us. We'll try to resolve the dispute to the satisfaction of both the people of Assam and Meghalaya. Because we thought that our visit should not create tension. Because if we both CM goes to the area and after our return there is a fresh tension, then people will blame us. So we want to quickly evolve some confidence building measures, and we hope to do that. That is why we said to get today. Thereafter we will have a formal meetings. Once that confidence building measures are formalized, we will both go to the site and we will discuss with the people of border village also. When we went to Lampi, there was a lot of festivity. So we want to go to the Karbi Along and Jaintia Hills also with the same kind of festivity.
So one question. The official meeting.
We'll discuss. My assembly is going on, and once a little bit of some political activities like assembly, something is going on in Assam. So I'd like to do it in the month of October. If Honorable CM can come to Guwahati in the first week of October, we can do. Otherwise, in the second week of October.
So unlikely the regional committees will submit their report to...
They are meeting now, but as we told you that this 6 area is a little bit complicated. So this regional committee, they are both headed by the matured people on both the side. They are working very hard. They are visiting those areas frequently. And we believe that everything will be settled in a most peaceful and amicable manner.
Hagabayde bat ki kherdop lum khajna jongka district council ki bale palan nakaliang jongka ke HADC ki lade pani ka jingpen shai ne ka aida ka show cause notice but kinang up ya ka jubab ka ba shai nakaliang ka jongki but ka council ka lapen pau ba kinsa shim ya ka lenti ka bade hadin balayo ya ka jubab but kila ya tholu paru ba lada lap ba ka don ka jingle palat nakaliang ka jongki omban se ban hap ha khang no yaki shisindon ya ka nilai thuro CEM ka KHADC uba penyat sing CM habai kram bekilat pathai Khubor.
Tu kitol git kiba ladap banwan I complain daki seng jong kinonya trok bakadan kacing le turmur naki nonglum hakabini bakata ngala syukos ya kitu kitol git mentala jadi tayo tingi iPod news ngi bakin jubab de ngan pet mentas ngi kila jubab nam nama keempat kot second kot lasan na singi ka syukos de lada kim jubab yaki no kiba ya palat yaki kabala pathat na ka council tengim batse ban hapan khang wat na kalyang jungi
Begiong mun thap syukos kamu kini di ge kini ki bukram set up the council
kidai jom di council lala ke jom ki department kat kum ka provision jom ka 6 schedule hindrai namar babun kide kiba la list out syaki private parties kadang kawe ka high court order kabala penkesan ya ka council bangin la ban bo yaki lasi yaki private parties then hindrai teng let's say nak santali ar lightly don kiba kitu ki agent ki le Khubor confirm penbaik kini ki kam abai dep kini kali kiba one room shpo me khlian kiba mi kumta kiba kit mar kit mata te yakum kini ki tolls hakino no ki jaka ki bala identify kat kum ka complaint ngila pha eka shukos ye kini ki lasi ban ladadep ban jubab ini bede kunu shukos nakal yang ke isi kan sashim ye karai ke bede bende ladai ba lap ladai ba lap shisha bagi le palat ke ba tha ka council ngimban se ban apan shim na karai khap karai kini
nakal yang jong sarkar dang sen dang kini kniat banai la mi te hukum ba sha ban bu ye kinu ki check gate bi an la de jong council ni jong department han siting ka gi hai
tolls jong council kimde ki badang shu sedang mentading tayo atyo shi banai kini la de ki post nem
ni kala pa kan no e gitu
ho henry nakalian ka high level committee kabla clear ye kini committee do chief minister la batha ye ka DCA department bandan ka jing ye penbaik maka this council te kakum ki provision jong ka 6 schedule kabla ibor hani ngila banbo ini tolls henry kadi bandan pat ki jaka ki bangila banbo let's say yo kidai ki jaka ki bakim ki ban pentut ya kali kawan ka traffic ye ki way kum kita ki jaka musya te but kumjuru kat kum ka working plan ki ba ngila dan ki bla dap submit ka government ngila submit tang ki ba kini ki ba ibiang ka jaka ki ba don ka lebay let's see ki ba don kam man check kum man shu anuksai ka trading by non tribal regulation act kiba pun ha ki kali kiba nabar jela kiba dei jong kibar jela kiwan khai shane klem kot klem sla de kum ye kini manu banditek namar ba ki dei be ki kali kimdan office support social law kimdan office support megalia de namar takadau da kabadan kini ki checkpoint ngila ban detect ngila ban wat bania kini ki le you ki khai you but ke ka jingdu nong ju ki prejungi te yakum kane ngibu yakini ki tolls on trade by non tribal khnang ban nem penshulur ye ki bar jela banwan khai kat bamon chakni ka prejungi
Nakaliang jong u MLA kanong po constituency ba Miral Bonds im ulapan pa bat kino ba ka jingdon buon palat kini ki check gate ne kita ki khadop lum khajna ba ka jing bamdon ki rel ketmar kala wanra ya ka jing kyo dor ka bashir khai hakaliang jong ki mar ba mardi ba kini kala bo iki pat ba ha ki ja jing e ki bo bonja
See, the increasing rate of essential commodities is one of the biggest issue that has to be addressed by the government. This is not only the issue that concerns the state, it is also the issue concern the country also, where we have to ensure as the government to ensure that essential commodities, the price has to be lowered. There are multiple reasons. For example, now if one truck will carry potato, say it will start from Punjab or Haryana, it has to pass through many states, through different check gate, toll gate, so many other. So definitely it will cost the price, especially in our state. Now with regard to this, we have seen nowadays there are many toll gates or many check gate within the national highway also that collecting money. So directly, indirectly, it will affect the price of the essential commodities. Now another issue with regard to the price rise is that in our state, we mostly depend from outside the state, be it rice, be it potato, be it onion, be it cloth, be it other essential commodities that we have, we depend from outside the state. So if the railway line for the goods carrying goods will reach the state at certain point of time, it will, to certain extent, it will help to ease the price of the essential commodities. But keeping in mind, if the railway comes also, the mechanism to protect the interests of the indigenous people of the state has to be maintained. I have been very vocal for this since in the past that the implementation of ILP, Inner Line Permit, implementation of the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act has to be in place so that it will ensure that the outsider, they cannot enter within our state. So it is indirectly, it has an effect. Railway, it will help to ease the price of essential commodities. At the same time, if this will happen also, we have to ensure that the state government will have to implement ILP or Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act, which this act is still pending to have an assent of the governor after the amendment in 2020-21. Now, with regard to the implementation of this act also, where the labor commissioner and many officials in the tourism department has been in place, and the site for the facilitation center also has been identified in Umling. So I hope when this act is in place, it will curb out the illegal immigration within our state. At the same time, it will ensure that if the railway line will come also, that if we have this law mechanism in hand, it will protect to some extent, and directly it will have an impact for the ease of the price of the essential commodities within our state.
Kasorkar Jilla Kalatmu Banthaw Raka State Water Informatics Center SWIC Nakabanta Ban Lum Jing Tip Halor Ka Jinglong Jingman Bak Jingdon Jonki Kiwa Hapok Jilla.
First was the establishment of the State Water Informatics Center, Meghalaya, with the Department of Water Resources as the lead department or nodal department. The basic objective of this State Water Informatics Center is to be the agency that is going to capture information related to water in the state in different levels, whether it's the rain, whether it's the water levels in the streams, catchment areas, spring sheds, and monitor them throughout the years and share that data with concerned departments like PHE and soil conservation, agriculture, disaster management, and so on and so forth, departments related with water, so that proper informative decisions can be made. And hence this is also mandated by Government of India, Jal Shakti Ministry, and this decision was made today that this will be set up, and it will be under the nodal agency will be the Department of Water Resources.
UMLA Ganongpo constituency ba Miral Bonds Imhasi ba Arjong Taiew ule Thuba Hadin Jongka Dorbar Sanrai ki regional committee Jong Jala Assam bat Meghalaya Kinsalit Banjurib ya ki Jaka ki badan ha Khubor ba ki badan ha Pedeng ki ka Japur.
Yeah, the meeting between Meghalaya and Assam in the second phase of border talk with regards to the portion in Ribhoi district, regional committee of Ribhoi district, and regional committee of Kamrup district of Assam. It was scheduled to be held on 25th, and spot inspection will be 26th. But due to the unavailability of our Honorable Chairman, Deputy Chief Minister, was out of station, so it was postponed, and it will take up very soon after the assembly session.
So the visit will be after the assembly session?
Yeah, definitely, because the talk is on now between the other regional committee like the West Khas Hill, West Giant Hill. It is on. Now Ribhoi also we had one meeting, but to have a spot inspection with regard to Des Domria, it has been identified, and it will be followed later on with Bordwar and then Nongwa Mautumur and Block 2. That will follow later. This will be as per the convenience of the chairman, both chairman of the respective regional committee, and then it will be disposed of as soon as possible.
So as the border talks continue, but then we see a lot of skirmishes recurring in the various places. The recent was Ribhoi. Some organization had stopped the construction of roads by Assam. But the developmental work, or be it trying to exert their power from both side administration, there has been problem always. So how do you think that needs to be addressed? Do you think this larger picture also needs to be involved in the discussion when solving the border process?
Definitely, all aspect has to be taken into consideration, be it developmental work, be it ethnic issue, be it any other issue which will hamper the peace talk. We have to address all those issues. With regards to the incident that has happened, see, development, 100% you can't stop, but it has to be through mutual understanding. Whatever development take place in Ribhoi, Deputy Commissioner of Ribhoi will have to inform Deputy Commissioner of Metro of Kamrup Metro or Kamrup Rural, which fall within Ribhoi. Whatever any developmental activities take place in Kamrup Metro or Kamrup Rural has to be intimate to the Deputy Commissioner of Ribhoi. This is the understanding that has been there, but merit demerits always be there. So this issue has to be addressed, and it should not happen. It is very unfortunate that it has happened.
Umentri rangba kajilau Conrad kisang maman haka si palay jong katayo ulapli ya ka Northeast Fruit Wine Incubation Center ha IHM campus maudiang diang kabadi ka jaka ba ai jinghikai ba jingerap ya kitu ki ba seng kamla jong ba kin pin bha ya ka kam ka ba kiseng.
Wait. Sorry, the bottle. Oh, come, Ashok. I mean, they want us to hold the bottle. Yeah. You may hold, but you may not drink. Ma'am. Just to ma'am. Basically, what our objective is that the local fruit that we have, many people have been involved in making the local fruit into wine, and this particular process was not legalized, and a proper policy was not in place. So what we did was, in order to promote the local winemaking industry, and also to support the farmers whose products normally would go to waste because they would not be able to sell it in the market, and hence processing it and making it into wine would help the farmers. So keeping these 2-3 objectives in mind, and obviously to get a brand for Meghalaya in terms of tourism also, we have decided that we will legalize the local fruit winemaking industry. And based on that, we came out with a policy where the registrations will take place and licenses will be given to the winemakers, but at a very nominal rate. And the process also is something that we would want it to be very, very simple. But then there were some hurdles that were mentioned by some of the officials, and hence I was referring to those hurdles that were there. But the registration has to be done, because that's the way we will ensure that quality control is there. A list of all the people who are producing is always maintained, and obviously a process of registration so that they are legalized. So those aspects will be there. But say suppose you have to pay 1 lakh, 2 lakh to start some other excise program. The amounts here are in hundreds of thousands of rupees, only a few thousand. So it will be very, very nominal. So that's the whole idea. But registration is compulsory. Otherwise, we will not be able to track and will not be able to certify the particular manufacturer, and hence that process will be required.
We screened 15,000 children, and we continue to do, from all over the state. We selected the top 9, and when I say top 9, the company who has done this selection process has done a selection process throughout the world. These 9 children who were athletes who were selected by us, they happen to be people who, according to this company, are in the top elite athlete list in the whole world. That means the marks they got for a vertical jump, I don't know how many of you know what a vertical jump is. You just stand and you just jump up like that. And it's very difficult. and you try to do it, you will not even touch 20 inches or whatever. And here we had one particular athlete from a very rural area, and she got a score that was higher than most of the people in the world. She was in like the top 5 in the world kind of a list, I would say. And we would have never known that she had that potential if we had not tested her. So what we did, we tested, and now we have 9 of these super athletes, and government of Meghalaya is going to spend close to 3.5 to 4 crores on these 9 athletes to give them the best training, to give them the training in the sport that they are good at. Most of the time our children want to play football because they see football and they love football, but their skills may not be in football. God may have gifted them with some other skills, but they would have never known. This scientific approach tells us. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this model of ensuring that we come with a very scientific approach and a planned and a structured approach in increasing the value of productivity by involving our local people and focusing on our strengths, this strategy is happening throughout the state in different sectors. And that is why we are confident that today we are looking at making our economy grow much faster. We are targeting to become the top 10 states in the world and in the country in the next 10 years. It's not an easy task, but then it's never easy. And therefore, we are up to the challenge, and it's going to be activities like this that are going to make it happen. And imagine this multiplied by 10,000. So there's one activity, and multiply this by 10,000 activities going on throughout. That's what this entire policy and the vision with which we are working.
Chief Executive Member CEM Jongka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council Ubah Penyat Sing CEM menakasi balang Jongka Taiew ula pelat ba ya kwe kali kit nyut ya ka balatiet na ka scheme Jongka Chief Minister's Special Development Fund CMSDF kabadika kali ka bankit ya kinyut kinyar be kichabo na yodo.
Bana kadang ingin sakit kya ban one eye no artli ki kali nakam ta ke hima melip nam ta ke jingpun khuat ya ka yodo kerpang be tang nam ta ke yodo bat nakalang jonga kum CM bat lengkap bat isi bat EM dilawan mentasi ban pelat pai ba ya keni katrok hadin mengilayo ban inspection ngalafon you chief minister Nong ladon kam ban ai kerpang ni ka skim nam ta ban thiet ini ka trok nam ta ban weng ni ka jing kham tam habai ni ka khu ka suba hang ne po yodo na kalyang chief minister da ka sim ko bakulut ban ka bakmen la pen pau hatu ka ski bangi kran ban na kalyang jung i ai ka we ka trok so kemen nam ta jung i ban ni ai khu blai kerpang nam ta jung i ru bala ai ling ba ka chief minister special development fund jong snam arja arpulai arpusau na kam ta ban thiet ikene ka kali Bat ya kata kawai pat ban sawanra ban sa IT day ia charge market sa penbait lingkat ke hima akan kasih bala ban penbait ke por gobiang bagi kila ban wan ban IT ke hima nama dan kam sa kawai bakhamrit ban yo ban rum ha sejaka ke bakham kendong tekani di kam ka bangila persyang dan tang hapo artayo menta bangiwan hapo yodo bagi persyang kat bala ban le kebalai pat hadin benglawan banjungo ekayodo marmar tang shudep banjungo ngilalit support district council ringkat bat ki officers jong ke council ringkat bat ki magistrate bat ki police naka district administration layo ban dan meeting ke bah kerkit bat hakata ke meeting ngila sode ban dan no ekawe ke kenhun ke komiti ke bah kerpang ya ke bangin Shna ban khau na ka council ka jungi ya ka ban klik do CM ya kani ka committee andon ki member tu ki EM andon na ka hima meliang kindon ru ki ban shimenta na ka shnong riu tuli ki shnong ba marjan ban ka yodo ka shnong kulapati ka shnong wa khabru ka shnong mission ka mokhar ka umsasun ban ka wa indo bat ka samthya kini ki shnong ru ngin sa kentup lang kum ki member but hakani ka notification ke bangila penbena hakalai kuwai tarik August ya kani committee la form bala thum bat na syai ka singin syong ya ka sin syong meeting ka baningkong jong kani committee banang kon khat shu ke ki sin jam ki banon kam bangin shim na mata banora ka jing kala hani po yodo
Ka Kinhun Menteri Jogo Sarkar Jila Manha ka Siba Ar Jong ka Taiew kala menjur ya ka jing terwa ban pinkhano ya ka engineering wing Jong ka tanad Meghalaya Police Headquarter Shillong.
As you're aware that the police has a large number of infrastructures all over the state, and hence in order to be able to allow the police department to take care of the needs of these different buildings and offices, an engineering wing was required because in the absence of an engineering wing, the department would have to follow different procedures which are very time consuming and involve different agencies to do small things like even repair of a bathroom or repair of a thana or repair of a barak. So all these kind of activities that are there will now be done by the engineering wing. And as you're aware, last year we had come up with the decision to sanction and keep certain funds at the discretion of the SP and the DC of every district, so that they can use that money for immediate repair work at the district level, so that proper infrastructure can be provided for policing. And this decision today will allow that decision to be implemented in a better manner, and ensure that whatever basic requirements that the police personnel need at the district and the grassroots level, those requirements can be met. So this important decision was taken today as part of large number of reforms that we are doing in the Home Department.
Menteri Rangba ka Sarkar Jila Meghalaya u Konrad ke sama manhak Siba Ar Jong ka Taiew ula pensyai bat penbenaba wala da ka Sarkar pedeng kampat penbena ya ka jingno senyang pisa na kabenta ka jing pentrikam ya ka NEP 2020 Henry ula ong ba ka kershan pat ya ki Jila ha ki babun ki liang na kabenta ban penbha ya ki jingtei ha ki babun ki benta.
So we are talking to everybody. I have spoken to many of the colleges and many of the principals, and almost every principal I have spoken to and almost every college I've spoken to, they all understand that NEP is good for the state and good for the students, and it is the right way to move forward. The challenge is in actually implementing it immediately. Now please understand that what does it mean? NEP requires multidisciplinary subjects to be there. Now say there is a commerce college. Now commerce college should also have science, should also have arts. Now is it a great concept? It is a great concept, obviously, and they would be happy to do it. Now that decision should be taken and we should go ahead with it. I'm giving an example only. Now what the colleges are saying is that, well, if you have to start that, then the 3 years course is now have to be made into 4 years course. And we have to start a science wing. Who's going to give us the money to start the science wing? Who's going to pay for the salaries of the college teachers? Who's going to pay for the building to be constructed? So the concerns are the implementation of this will require huge financial challenges, and hence how do we move forward? So these are one of the issues. I'm not saying this is everything, but this is one of the issues. Other issues are they're saying that, well, how does the 4-year course become into a 3 years course become into 4 years? Because now the course will have to be redefined in year 1, and you'll have to have different mechanisms for semester-wise programs. And so now if we change semester 1, then we have to say change semester 2, 3, 4. So the colleges have to adapt to a new system. So change is always something that is not very comfortable for anybody. It's not just colleges, even for us. We all would go through the same process. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that there is no, let's be very clear on this. There is nobody who's against the NEP. Majority of the teachers and the students and the principals are all for the NEP to be implemented. Issue only is in the different requirements to implement it and the process of implementing, which is very, very technically complicated and financially complicated, and hence how will they do it immediately? So it's a process. I think once the discussion takes place between the university, the government and the colleges, that we will allow a smooth way, and we'll keep supporting in whatever way possible there is there. I think an understanding will develop. I don't see things so complicated. I don't personally see. as I said, in the decision. But yes, it's complicated in terms of the requirements that are there. And we will discuss and we'll see how to implement it. But the question, as correctly said by the VC, that we cannot go back on that decision. The whole country is moving forward with this. We need to go ahead with this. And the colleges also know that they need to go ahead with this. They are also on board saying that it is good, but challenges are there. And so just let us work together to overcome this challenge.
O President Jongka Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee Ubadeiru u MP Jongka Lok Sabha u ba Vincent H Pala ulo ong ba kajing temu Jongka BJP banwanra ya ka One Nation One Election kaditang kabuit ban penduk pendamno ya ki seng ne ki parti ki barit barya ki badan haki jela Jongkari barok kawai
ka One Election ka One Nation kamde ka ba tmai jisa kani ka move na do mensuat gidon Andre habapet ya ka condition support ka India barok gawai na try ka bah Andre nga ngasnyo ba lada ka sarkar kale ba de kani kala along cibenta ku ba yoroi ka jong ka hok jong kitu ki state ki ba diu lono ka de kan one election le ni no ko por te ban ong hi ka India hi kumba long menta barok ki election ki long ki kam long khoi ka kom ni election te ban Jingkwa jong ke BJP kalau ban penduk no kini ki parti barit baria jing sisian dawan long dadon ke one election one nation kadeh ka juk ke por te ki parti ting kin do no te jingkwa jong ke BJP te gari India he bro ko wei namar ki parti barit ki don ki nong nikmat ki chong example ki don ki parti namanta ki tribes ki don ki parti bernikmat namanta ki borders ki don ki parti bernikmat kono ban peni ya ka jing jong kitu ki area kadang ni ki jing mentoy jong ki parti barit ula ka jong ki area dari ke BJP ka kwa pan pendono ka wa pelong ngatrai ngi kum ka parti him yang ka kongres kat kum ka jing so thu jonga ngim do hun rei kani namar kadang ka por bangaru ngade we ni ki member jong kani ka committee hapo mangadon hapo public grievances ba ni nakaliang ki babon hi ki kwa ba kandon ka banduna ka lut kadi bandon ka one election one nation nga ngadon hukum mondre ngin yang parti ong kamlong ra namar balai kamlong no kaban yoroi ka hak jong kitu ki brio te kata naliang jongi nga try naliang ka parti ki national spokesperson jongi nga try tin sa ai ka statement ndre kumba kolong menchwa ka por ba kanadon ka committee temdon ra ba yahun no po ka congress like tangga BJP
kini hapolo kali jitu pat ban pengkela keteng kari India syak kata ketin barat ke jing EJP
na try kan ni ro kali ka jing kawe ka act of desperation i modi hadin baki la fine la survey bahaliang ke ekonomi jong kari India kala akhir palat tebenta ban leh ke election la ta akhir barbar jong good economy good politics but a bad economy is a bad politics ke jing do kam do jam ke jing bung yo kam do yo ki kena boleh ke ni ke juk ke pemerintah kabaar ki beruspa ki la ruspa palat ki betuk ki la duk palat tengah try ke way ka ba pen ma ya ke BJP pa penerus ke BJP kimla ban ai ke jing sensar ka ba biang ki penmi ni kini ki ni kata ka daw tengah try ke ni ru ka dai ke way ni ki benta pingi hab perkat ba ki suppose nam ba BJP ka sensar bi tik nam ta ka tu kan ni jai pendru ka tu kan ni businessman la dei ki no ki benta ka befer try ke ni ru ka way ni hab perkat ba
terkait ke jing gemi lada pengkela keteng kari India nek kata
ka jing pengkela pi ka keteng barbor ka keteng jong kari India ke manado mencuba wat ka por pareng wat ka por timju kelar te ki bri ki don ni ke sentiment pan pengkela lada pengkela ka kari India ngapai ki babon ki reaction namar ka keteng hi ka wei ka bala ne keleng ki kot ki sla ki natong hadong pan pengkela kam dei ka pasuk ki software ki babon ndai tang kari India borok kowe di pelat ki arspa ni giri apa perti itu kum di India ki kot ki sla ki lalik situ teknologi ki bejek lalik keleng asal kam don meaning ra ka bharat gari tang menta ka to ka ni ki kiri ki bosnyo ba ki dei kam tam ki kabel area le ke India hemde tangka ki badon hapo kitu ki benta kadon ki bari sanot kadon bari south kadon ruas ba kumalong menta ki mut ke Hindi be keleng ndre lade ha north east le ni ha po Tamil Nadu Kerala keleng kimlong comfortable pada Hindi. Dari ke BJP ke kuat peluang Hindi lu di barak, kalau peluang Bharat lu di barak, kalau peluang Hindu lu di barak, kamlong dah. Kini kau ini bentar bergemuk cengki ban peluang one nation, one election, one religion. Dari ngatrai kepenjing pekala keting ru kejoi. Ngatrai kini kan dan kejing kalau ban rai kono kejing ki ke bajor ke bangin poi perkat.
Ini pai mentah sesi Khubor Sport. Kajing lekai pensau tena da kaba nya ya kitrok kibla shnabat penwandur hida kitrai kaban tip kum ka 4x4 off-road challenge 2023 kan salong na do ka khat kendai hado ka ar phuwai tari ubnai banwan ka tau banai risau meta ka snem ar hajar ar phulai haka surok bala pau jong ka jila Meghalaya ka badan hapo ka Kharsati Nature's Park Riboy District.
Ngindal du likely ki categories meta usnem ka modified category, semi modified, pada stock category. Kadon ka special attraction tu nak bentar itu ki badon ka kali 4x4, te ngidon ka off-road trail. Ini ke off-road trail belum it's a fun drive off-road. Gamde ke competition, ndai ki bakwa banjoy ki lapan ban, kin haban siu ni entry fee baret. Pada ni kermen ki sadon ni katu ni ngidon ki girls women's category tu entau senam kibani kompik ke kitrak kibani sebentar kitrak kita usnam kilong kibakam tough bani kau macam senam tu nama lagi lagi bagi partisipan kila upgrade kali jadi tengiru accordingly minang penkiu nak kau ke level sakau ke level kan mangya di pon berkatong kejongi kebangi don nak kau sedang ya kena klub kalau ni don katong bah kau ke sini ilban boy ke national level kompik dan sports. Kali ke sports kumbang nasional keren di sini untuk belajar kalau buat compare dengan pergian sports. Pada kalau setengah itu kata.
Mula tajam kita yuk show sponsor dan lain lain. Di kerana kiu, kalau ni panggil Asher ni, kalau Asher ni 5 lakhs, already Asher bangin ayat price. Dengan kita yuk show kita di Mansubhai bayaran ini, kita let's kesakar untuk melalui let's sport, let's ini sila. Kita yuk show kita lagi, kalau price begini kita nak show, kita nak show. Makanya kita buat Asher, kita biar kita kata sama kita ada minimum. Dalam kita yuk show kita in the future price begini. Memang ke klub jadi kalau buat tanpa promote ekspor.
Ke Department of Khasi St. Anthony's College Shillong menaka kendai terik mentau benai nailur arhajar arpulai kala pelong ya ka memorial lecture halor unong tho bagi tho bala penmi dauled Dr. JS Shangpliang ubedeiru unong hikai berim jong ketika college ya ka benta ka beningkong jong ketika program ha ketika singi la penya da Dr. RS Wankar laidon langru ha ketika singi ki riu shampang badru kumju ki bahayeng hasem jong Dr. JS Shangpliang. Ya kajing duai layalam da Reverend Father Riton Bor Kharkongor badi Vice Principal jongka St. Anthony's College bela airu yaki kintin priang sobha yaki bela shaphot sobha ki samna puli ka Department Khasi St. Anthony's College kila ay ya kajing rai ka bekerpang bat nakaliang jong ki bahayeng hasem ukon jong u Dr. JS Shangpliang u Dr. John A Lingdo ula ay ya kajing kren bat hadian kajing kren kajong u lapan buat sedaka jing rai naki ksiu jong Dr. JS Shangpliang ki bela rai halor kawai naki potri ki bela tho da Dr. JS Shangpliang ka badai ka potri halor ka mariang hagte ga benta ka beningkong ya ka jingkran mat phang la yo na Dr. Trosilin Khan badi ka jingkran ai khublei pat na Dr. Doris Melensi Bersat
but cooperative di Kopama Nagadi Swing Independence Day iyo eka usnamo State Literary Award. Kalau mencuci apa kini kerana ada cerita macam kemarin macam buat itu di Kristen ni boros kata Kristen dalam buat mereka yang isok dalam di Kristen jadi di ayat cukup dari itu di dan keti dalam pendorong ini kami rasa sehingga iba nanti dalam ya mungkin sekarang di kota di Khubor bahwa terlebih bahwa kata di kota bahwa misalkan penangkap UG level dan bukan kota penangkap ke postgraduate level bahwa mentah semua Kadang kadang dan belum dia ada perusahaan baru pancua Krishna perusahaan baru dia ke terpuji jadi bon kalau ini ada tinggal apa lagi itu kan semua ada yang juga buat sepuluh ikut kata di kek kali kita semua ada juga buat dia ke perusahaan state free award dia ikut kek kalau ke sawang ke tu asal buah but lapni lekai ka ki insan berher apa sila masdan nikong ini kaji lekai po kenal po buka po symbolic church hall tu itu but lapni masdan ka jupini lekai ka ket mata rakyat ka po state central library lekai what state central library but nasko sarang sekali pak minta pak kepercayaan juga kota ke ini ke di sawangka tang ke sawangka ke bit teman pendong jila ka ke insan ndrei wat benar kami kalau aku kuri kadang di juga kena ke pulih kasih tu te kalau kita kan sekali ya boleh semua bagi di punya jadi program kasih department apa ujian petri profesor rolling mau angkat boleh semua buat kebun jadi bagi dalam pun long ini sini bahwa shopper dari sini bahwa insalah dan tip susu jadi kunci start juga jingtok, jadi apa? Lagi dong di sawangkan, di dong di jingruai, lagi dong di essay, di mana lagi jingtok, di dong screenwriter, di dong news reporter, di dong lagi jingtok apa? Per macam juga.
Kabenta ka baar jong ka program ha ketika sini ka beri kabenta ka bakam kongsan lapenya da Dr. Tomlin Lynching. Kinoy chimbenta ha ki jinkren kilong Dr. Marbhador M. Kimdet beri assistant professor ka department Khasi Nehu Shillong balakran halor Dr. J.S. Shangpliang kum ukritik. Inongkran baar ide I kong Irene M. Nongbet iberi associate professor ka St. Mary's College but mai ilakran halor u Dr. J.S. Shangpliang kumunong tho sawangka ne u dramatist. Inongkran ibalai ide Dr. K.P. Pawa iberi assistant professor ka Shirpi College Shillong but ini ilakran halor u Dr. J.S. Shangpliang kum umilung. Ha kabukut kabawai jong katay ka programa katay ka sngi yaki jingkren ay kublay layo na I Dr. Bayahun lang lingdo ibri inong hikay jong ka St. Anthony's College Shillong. Shobangin pin kut noi ki Khubor ngin pin sngo biang shapi ki phang ki bakong san sa shisian. Rai ka sarkar ban pindu pendam noi ya artali ki hydro power projects. Yale ka sarkar Assam ban Meghalaya ban wanra ya ka sup ka san hak haput kat badang yat ka jingya penbet put. On Kankerdep ka KHADC ya ki kerdop lum khajna lada labba ki le thurmur ong CEM. Hadin ke Dorbar Sanrai on Jurip ki Regional Committee ban penbet put. Daka 4x4 sports event on Penlong hapok ka Kharsati Park. Daga Memorial Lecture Penlong ka St. Anthony's College halor u Dr. J.S. Champion. Bat kiwi deki Khubor. Daki tu in pun kenoi gini tu Khubor gini katiyo mentang yang sia syam yang bat pi baro ha katai kiwi bat katiyo ke banwan kubli pi baro bat kiasu.